Okay, so we're making this out of tongue and groove. I've got my dimensions here, so mine tells me the length that I need, which is 1980. So just to get started, we'll select the length of tongue and groove. Firstly, just trim off the end to make sure it's square. You might want to take notes of these steps so you remember. Measure your length, which I said mine was 1980. Yours will be different, so you'll need to just make sure you get off of your plan what your measurements are. And I don't want to keep saying that all the way through it, but all of the measurements I'm giving you are for my box, and you have to just get your sheet and make sure you do it according to your plans. When I do this, I'm assuming you've been taught you've learned how to use the drop saw before, so I won't be going through too much safety unless it's specific to this project, but otherwise it's assumed that you already have done the video on how to use the drop saw. So yeah, that's my 1980 cut, my length, my full length. And so then I'll look for step 2, which step 2 is basically telling me to cut the 2 lengths here. One of them is 1159 and one of them is 816. So it's probably worth having a little look at the bottom here to see which ones of these are the outside of the box and which ones are the inside of the box. Now what I mean by that is inside here we've got these extra little pieces like this which form the inside of the box there. It's kind of like a little box inside the box, and the purpose of that box is to keep this sliding latch at the front. So you can probably put your uglier piece of timber in there and keep your best piece of timber for the outside where people will see it. So in this case, I've got a big knot here. So I'm going to try and make that my inside of the box, which means the outside, which is all this left stuff, the front, back, left, right, and the lid and the base is on this left-hand piece up here. So I'm going to flip this timber around, just so it's the same way as the picture, and mark it out. So I've got 1159. 1159, and I'll cut that. And that should leave me 816, and it does. Okay, so I've got my 2 pieces. So next thing on here, that's step 2. Step 3, it says plane down the timber. So we're going to plane it down to, the left piece is going to be planed down to 9 mils thick. It's currently 12 because it's tongue and groove. And this other piece is going to get planed down even more to 6 mils. So we'll be halving the thickness of that. So the next step is going to be showing you how to use the planer. And so I'm going to do a separate video on that.